Good evening and welcome to Division 3 tonight on a Monday in the Netherlands. Tonight was a good race last time out in I'm just going to have to pull that up actually. Should have done my homework on that one. It will be an interesting race, hopefully. It says Baku was the last race. I was there for that. Pretty sure I missed a week. I'm not too sure if we've missed a race or something, but yeah, I have seen it. I believe it was Hungary last week actually. Yeah, it was Hungary last week where I've missed that one off. So it is currently, as things stand, Halvor in the lead of the championship. Doran still in P2 along with John Mobes in P3 in that Ferrari, and it's three different constructors in the lead. Not in the lead, three different constructors in 1, 2 and 3 of the championship, and of the constructors, Sauber are leading, followed by Ferrari and Aston Martin. At a track tonight where it's not the favourite of many. It is quite an old circuit, very narrow, very winding, as you can see on board with John Mobes now. Just the banking and how winding it is, you'll see it down this, wouldn't call it a straight, you can definitely see how winding it is. First F1 race back in 1952. It took a hiatus off the calendar for quite some time before it returned in 2021 with Max Verstappen winning in 2021, 2022 and 2023 before in 2024 Lando Norris won it, and in 2025 it was again Lando Norris, I believe, if I remember that one correctly. But in the interest of SFR, I believe it's one of the Red Bulls on the opening lap. First of all, it might be Dom actually. It is Dom, just heading through sector 1 now. He is in none. He may just be going for a second out lap here, and it looks like he will be. He's got the Red Bull of Silver Fox not too far behind him through sector 2. Coming through just a long left-hander of turn 10 and into the little chicane stadium section. Matrandia with the fastest lap of the session with a 10.3 to start his session off. Looking at a possible 109 lap time around here as pole position, and if anyone's quick enough, maybe a 108. It looks like it's going to be the 111s for Silver Fox. Matrandia still with the fastest lap of the 10.3 so far. Alex Haig up to P2 now ahead of his teammate. 10.8 on the board for him. The Mercedes of Energy Dan is next up in P8 at the minute, overtaking out of that big massive bank, and of course it was reprofiled in 2020. Originally supposed to return in 2020, it was this track, but was moved to 2021 due to COVID, with all the changes that had to be done to the track as well. Dora moves up to P6. It used to be last corner, Ronnie with a 10.0 there, and we will be firmly into the 109s by the end of the session, I can tell you that now. And yeah, it was quite flat, that final corner. It used to just be, if you still play ACC, you do see it as a flat corner, no banking in that game, but it's very interesting to try and race on when you're used to the newer layout. I was just looking up and down who is on a lap and who isn't. Looks like Matty is on the out lap. He's about to start his lap now, so we'll ride on board with him as he heads down into turn 1 Tarzan. It's quite a long run into turn 1 with it being a hairpin as well. Heavy braking zone and slightly banked. We've seen quite a few incidents over the past couple of seasons in SFR around that corner. It's winding through turn 2, turn 3 and into turn 4. And Daniel now flat out for the next couple corners and possibly down to turn 7 as well. If you've got the pace, you might as well try and go flat out through there. Just a slight lift for Matty through turn 7, through turn 8 and eventually turn 9 now. It's just all corners in one place here, and it's constant until you get to this little reprieve down the straight, and he's looking like his tyres are screaming out there. He's sliding all over the road on his qualifying lap. It is just a banker lap for Matty so far as he heads into the stadium. Right, and then a long left almost instantly through that. Don't want to cut the inside with the gravel. Very easy to run a lap, and then the size of the curbs on the outside, you don't want to get along them either. You just start riding them, you can't get off them at all. As he heads through to the line, it's going to be a 1 minute 11.4 for the Ferrari. Again, Dom coming out for his second lap of the session now. Let's see what he can set. Wiggles on a lap, 10th up on his time through sector 1. He's headed through turn 7 now. Through 8, he's oversteering in that car a lot. That's going to wreck his tyres in the race if he does do that. It's just constant corners around here, and like I said, you get a little reprieve. DRS open down this short straight. Ronnie with the fastest lap now, 109.8. Again, he is looking like the pace setter tonight. And out of that mini section he comes now. Preb has just moves up to P5 as well with the 10.8. Ronnie being top of the time in sheets is completely different to what his teammate usually is. His teammate's usually top, and is top of the Drivers' Championship, of course, with the 4 wins this season so far. He is absolutely flying in that car. As Matty comes into the pits out of that final corner. Doran on a lap as well, just heading through turn 9 now. The Aston Martin's been consistent all season, as he is every season, with 5 podiums and a single win to his name so far, but constantly in and around that top 5, top 4 in the races. You never see him really that far down the order. Just heading over and opening the DRS down towards the last straight now. This is realistically the only long straight, well, it is the only long straight to the track, and he sets a P4 time. SFR's on with a 10.6 to start his session off. His teammate not too far behind, maybe out of fuel there. Looks like he is, as he lets through a Alpine of Matrandi, and it was of Salguero. Matrandi just came up the pits to start a second lap. Energy Dan is on a lap right now as well, just coming through turn 8, turn 9. It's all one little section. So you got turn 7, very short straight. Wouldn't even call it a straight, just a corner. Little kink left, straight into a double right-hander, and then instantly switching across the track to a left. It's a challenging track, and a favourite of quite a few, but also hated by many as well. Dan 7/10 up through that second sector there, using the RS. He's going to have a nice little tow from the car in front, Doran, in the Aston Martin. As Dom has moved up to P4 as well with a 10.5 on his lap. The Williams looking to improve on that towards the end of the session. 8/10 improvement for Dan, and it is P9 for him. He has Halvor behind him there by the looks of it, who's on a lap. He might have got a nice tow, but he also might have got a bit of dirty air through turn 1, affecting his braking. Of course, with the car in front just punching a hole for him, harder to brake. To brake a little bit earlier. Through sector 1 though, doesn't seem to have affected him that much. He is improved, is Halvor. Over the curbs, bit of grass on that tyre as well. Just going to affect grip slightly, heading through the next couple corners, but he seems to have handled it quite nicely. Caught the grass for turn 9. Has a bit of space to the inside line there, possibly just maximising their exit though over everything through there, and he's just about a 10th up. I'd say just under a 10th up on his lap time. And this could be where he needs to improve it the most, is through this final sector, and what can he pull out of the bag as he heads, it's a big slide out of that final corner, and that's not going to be an improvement whatsoever. It is an improvement with a 6.5 tenth improvement even with the slide, he moves up to P5, and he is looking rapid again tonight. John Mobes, and just behind him, he's on the grass on the inside again there. Looks like he's going to enter the pits. 7 minutes to go, no improvement for him. Matrandir, not too far behind him, is going to enter the pits too. He is up to P2 in the session with a 10.3 so far. Matty just about half tenth up on that last lap as we just ride on board with him now. Just a tenth up so far as well for the Ferrari. Looks like through the slow speed he is struggling as he backs out of his lap, just trying to get a bit more battery in that car for the next lap. And it seems like he's got enough just about to start another one. He's going to go for another. Wakey Joe is going slowly. Looks like he's backed out of his lap as well. Preb on one. So far, half a second up is that Williams. Coming out, there we go. Just flying around this track so far. It's a high-speed circuit. A lot of high-speed corners. And a lot of just quick corners one after another, which is frustrating for drivers as Preb moves up to P2 now, but with a 1:10.2 and a great lap, which puts him on the front row of the grid. He has got other cars to contend with though. Eventually, when they finish their laps, finish their runs at the end of the session, Doran is one of them, a 10th up so far through sector 1, through turn 8, turn 9, and eventually it'll be turn 10 through here. He's just slightly on the throttle. You can see him pressing it down, just trying not to lose that traction. You can see it on the exit there as Alex Haig moves up to P4 through there now. As there we go, Doran 2 tenths up, coming through. He's got his teammate behind him. This could be smart by the Aston Martins to give each other the tow for the start of the final lap for Wiggles, or just a lap for Wiggles. Here comes Doran though to the line. He's going to give his teammate a distant tow. He's going to move up to P2, and that is a good lap again. And Preb has now got to pull one out as well. Alex Haig might be able to pull a great lap. It looks like Wiggles moves up to P8 as well. He was just on a lap behind his teammate there. His Halvor is just on a long run by the looks of it. That is quite a long time on those softs. He's done 3 laps on them so far. So they'll be starting to come to the end of life. I'm not too sure why he's just in this little race pace mode at the minute in qualifying. Maybe he's going to come in at the end of this lap and sort of Dennis Dan's on the exit very squarely with the Sauber ahead of Ronnie. A lock up for him is not at all what he needs. Those tyres need to stay healthy throughout the lap. Ronnie backs off almost instantly on his lap. He's going to go for another if he has the fuel. And we see everyone coming up for the final laps. Halvor skidding again through 10-10. Dan going through that exact same corner, has a couple cars in his way. It looks like the McLaren of Night Creed and Wakey Joe in the Haas are the 2 ahead. Keeping it tight. There is Dan, not on the exit though. He's very squarely on the exit, and he sees all his time go, backs off, and he'll be into the pits to start another lap before the end of this session. Wiggles and Doran going for a double lap by the looks of it. That's because they're just pushing to get around and back into the pits. Looks like Ronnie might just have pole position in his hands here as he pushes on again for another lap in that Sauber. He is definitely really quick around here. A 10th up and a purple sector 1 for him. What can he follow through the rest of the lap? And he used all his energy too early in the lap. He heads through turn 8 and turn 9 and up through gears and straight back down again. to pull it through as Wiggles up to P5 on that lap. Very, very quick. Doran with a slight improvement, not enough to get to Ronnie though. Ronnie 3/10 up through sector 2. And it looks like another pole position is going to Asawa this season, as Halvor is in and is out again to try and improve that track position. Our championship leader, P9 at the minute. Ronnie to the line. It's going to go even faster, 2.2 tenths up. Not 2.2, just 2. And has a 7/10 gap to Doran now, who will not get another lap in. That's where he's maximised is going to be. P2 for Doran. Preb gets another one. Bertrand gets another one. Wiggles P5 maximum. And everyone else is coming to the line. Now here comes John Mobes for his final lap of the session. He moves onto the front row into the 109s. 109.9 for that Ferrari. As Dom to the line as well. He sets a P8 lap time. Looking up and down, who else is on a lap? I'm not seeing many on it. Here comes Matrandir though, P5 at the minute. This is someone you want to watch up to P3. Second row of the grid, all it's going to be for the Alpine. Dom up just a little bit there. Alex Haig, P7 maximum for him, as he just slots in behind Mr. Wiggles in P6 so far. Halvor, this is the lap I think everyone is trying to watch. Billy G's up as well, just looking up and down. Who is towards the end of the laps? John Mobes, Matty is one. Is Matty just coming into the pit, or he's going again now actually? Is Matty. Teammate ahead pits, no toe for him. Here we go, into turn 1. Matty through Tarzan. Sends it in. Looks all clean for now. And through turn 4. Great so far. Billy G out the final corner has invalidated. So that's the end of his session. Looks like he's out of fuel anyway, which is horrible. At the end of the lap, he is going to be P10. Halvor through the final corner now. We skidded there earlier in the session. Pit and put on new tyres, and he's going to go only P9 for Halvor. Let's see if he can pull it out with some race pace. Wakey Joe, 2/10 up through sector 2. He comes to the line, out the final corner now. And driving towards the line, out of battery, he's just going to go into P11. A good lap by the Haas. Jumping Energy Dan and Silver Fox there with a good lap. Matty, can he improve what he's got so far? And no, he is not. He comes into the pits. Salguero and Nightcreed are going to be 2 to finish off the session. Unless Preb can pull something as well. But no, still P4. Looks like he might have actually jumped to P4 during me watching Halvor. Nightcreed P17 and Salguero pits for 16th. So Ronnie is on pole, followed by John Mobes, Matrandir and Preb. And then Doran is the top 5 for tonight. we'll see. Through the race, it's going to be a wet one. And this is going to get interesting now. Who has the wet setups on? So that's affected qualifying. I'm going to guess it's probably why some names aren't near the top. As usual, they're just kind of put on the wet setups. That'll be why. They're not near the top as usual. But starting grid is Ronnie on pole in that Sauber, followed by John Mobes, Mitrandia, Preb, Doran, Wiggles, Alex Haig, Dom, Halvor and Billy G as the top 10, followed by Wakey Joe, Energy Dan, Silver Fox, Matty, Operator, Salguero and Night Creed is rounding off the grid in P17. And now this will be an interesting race. In the rain, who's got the drier setups on? Who's got the wet setups on? Will we go to dry towards the end of the race? Will we go to even more wet towards the end of the race? Looks like an intermediate so far. It'll be interesting to see what setups, not what setups, what tyres cars go on as well. Sometimes it puts them on the dry in the wet, which is an absolute pain to go through. You'll have to pit at the end of lap 1 or just try and stick it out and have the advantage when it goes dry eventually. And it doesn't look like it's one of them nights where we're all actually on the inters this time, but it looks like it's quite dry. Actually, we might see it dry soon enough. So cars on the inters is, well, everyone. So it's Ronnie on pole, John Mobes alongside him into Tarzan. We'll be looking to chuck one up the inside possibly and get a bit of an advantage maybe alongside him. Then alongside him is Mitrandia in P3, Preb is P4, just behind him. Followed by Doran and Wiggles in P5 and 6. Alex Haig in P7, P8 for Dom, Halvor P9, who's going to be on a comeback drive now to try and just gain even more of an advantage over Doran in the championship. But already quite a big advantage over him anyway, due to Doran missing the last race as well. Billy G, Doran's former teammate in P10 just behind, with Wakey Joe P11, Dan P12, Silver Fox P13, P14 Matty in the Ferrari, P15 Operator Salguero, and then Night Creed is P17. As they're coming round to the grid. with this being such a small grid as well, you don't want to be getting disqualified like John Mobes or Prebav on the inside lines there. Now this job is going to be a bit harder for them to try and complete into turn 1. Doran P5. They're slotting in well, same for Wiggles and Alex Haig. But in the Netherlands, it's 5 red lights. And we are green in the Netherlands. It's a good and slow start for everyone. They're just inching away from the line. Matrandir and John Mobes onto the grass already. Into turn 1. Matrandir goes round. Doran caught up with him. It looks like Wiggles. Possibly it was Preb up to P3. Doran fighting with him. And up the inside goes Matrandir again, who's up. And it looks like he was skidding a bit there. Preb to the inside line. Into turn 4. Everyone taking different lines through this corner. So it looks like there's contact. The Mercedes going round. That's Dan. Matty's round as well into the wall. And that is a horrible start for Dan and for Matty. That's just trying to get going again as well. He's stuck on the curbs. Preb even further down the field. Now he's into the gravel and back on the track in P15. A horror start for him. John Mobes just holding on to that position though. He's already second off of Ronnie, who seems to be racing away in that lead towards the end of lap 1. Doran and Wiggles just within about half a second of each other. Looking up and down, looks like Halvor already up to P7 off the start of the race. After lap 1, up 2 positions and looking at the back of Alex Haig. Looking very quick right now. Halvor coming just inching around that corner. Looks like Dom was sliding a bit on the exit as well. Billy G, Joe still having, looks like it's going to be a nice fight between these two in the race. Operator up to P12, hanging on to Salguero, who's hanging on to the back of that Haas. Silver Fox with what looks to be a poor start as well, down to P13. Under pressure from Nightcreed, who's not going to have a look at the inside line there. Ronnie with the fastest lap again, entering the 3rd lap of the race. Coming round, here we go, turn 4. It just looks like it's going to be line astern majority of the race here, in the wet at least. I wonder if anyone's going to use the battery. It's going to be a battery dependent race. Is this one? Alex just a bit slidey on the exit. Same for Halvor though. Halvor just looking at the inside of that Red Bull, just a bit of contact there at the back of that car, slightly Slight contact. Dom looking to just capitalise on any sort of mistake from him. He's going to try and go round the outside. Contact between the two. Happens to lift off to avoid any sort of issue. Looks like the two have swapped there. It's coming just around. Oh, it looks like contact with the wall there for Dom. Through the final corner. Did he pick up any damage? Halvor is escaped his teammate. Chandir with the fastest lap now. Doran's up ahead of John Mobes. He's now under pressure from his teammate. I'm just looking on board with Dom to see any damage. Nightcreed and Preb by the looks of having a little fight down at the bottom. That's Doran now free to that. Sauber in the lead. 3. And 10-second penalty for Wakey Joe entering the pits. Yeah, there. Doran is now chasing down. It looks like it's getting dry on the track, and now this is going to be an interesting one to the end. How does he figure that out? Coming through Doran just behind him now with the DRS. This is now a great chance for him to try and overtake behind him. Into the pits, the two will come. Who has the fastest stop? Who has more bravery under the brakes entering the pits? Looks like equal bravery for the pair of them as everyone comes in apart from Halvor, who stays out an extra lap on the inters. Same for Alex Haig. Into the pits they all come though. Salguero's one as well. Ronnie on the hards, Doran on the mediums. It's just going to come up behind, just behind. Everybody's in. Wiggles on the hard is going to affect him. The fact that he's also had to wait for his team to go out. Nightcreed stays out with Ronnie ahead of him, with Ronnie behind him. Sorry, and now this could be interesting towards the end of the lap. Who gets caught up in the traffic of the Inters cars? Doran looking very, very quick on the race pace though. Just jumping over them curbs. Ronnie on the hards, just waiting to get that warm up in. We'll get DRS off of this McLaren, which is going to help him. Doran goes off. And now he's under pressure from John Mobes, and that is a big, big mistake on the outlap for the Aston Martin. That is, yeah, like I said, huge mistake by him there, as it actually looks like Nightcreed pulls off to avoid any hold up between any drivers there. just going to affect anyone with the... We'll see what happens. Just come through Wakey Joe with the fastest lap now on those hards. John Mobes. Just looks like he's dropped out of door in there. Dan sets the fastest lap of the race now with a 19.4 down in P16. He's got pace by the looks of it. Just looks like it's starting to die down a bit. Ronnie is looking like he's under pressure from Doran Halvor with some pace though. On top of that, we'll do Doran fastest lap of the race and the race lead now through turn 1. John Mobes again just pushing on with those hards. Doran needs to push on now with the mediums to pull out a bit of a gap before he eventually has to pit. It will be a 2-stop race this, because I don't really envisage those hards lasting the entire race. And now this is going to become a very interesting strategically race. Billy G putting pressure onto Wiggles and the other Aston Martin, as one Aston Martin has gained the lead, the other might be losing position. Under pressure is Billy G from the Red Bull as well behind. Wiggles goes slightly wide, but those mediums just didn't seem to have the grip through that corner to try and push it on. Looks like he's just getting so close to the back of him. It's a 4-car train now as he heads towards that final corner. Ronnie putting pressure onto Doran as well through turn 1. No move is there for him. This looks like someone into the pits, maybe. No, it's just he's going off there. Goes still under pressure from those cars behind. Silver Fox making up to P13 there. Coming through Wiggles with a poor exit compared to Billy G. Just seems to have so much pace through the corner exits. Does the V-carb. It's all just, again, like I said, a 4-lane, a 4-car train. Ronnie didn't seem to have the advantage over Doran down the straight, who sets another fastest lap of the race. Does the Aston Martin, but not close enough again is Billy G to make a move through turn 1. Preb now with the fastest lap on those hards in P11 as he makes a move past Salguero into P12. Into P11 goes the Williams. Oxley just had to drop a little bit there, like by the look of it, but he pulled it back with a 10-second penalty though. Same for Wakey Joe, who is on older tyres compared to those in front. Alex Haig with some of the freshest tyres on the grid. Halvor with some of them too, as off the track goes... Who was that? Off the track, was that Salguero? It might have been. Not too sure who that was. champion Alex Haig there. Actually, he looked like he just went very, very wide through turn 8. Now he's under pressure again from that Haas behind. He just escaped him, but he couldn't get back into us. Billy G goes wide now, and that's a mistake by him, and he's under pressure from Alex Haig, who's going to get the move done straight away, but the DRS is just way too strong to pull anything ahead and into turn 1. Wakey Joe up the inside. No, car seemed to be later on the brakes than the Red Bull. That's an opportunity he's let slip, has the Haas, and that's a huge opportunity missed by Billy G as well, to capitalise on the medium advantage that he has right now compared to those hards. Outside, no, Wakey Joe just couldn't see him, as Alex Haig actually has dropped position to Preb. Looks like he's had an issue somewhere there. Looking up ahead, no move by Billy G. Was gonna go up. No proper overtakes happening so far in this race. Just a couple of off-track incidents for some drivers. This is sector 2 yellows, and that is for the Ferrari of John Mobes. So he drops down behind Matrandia as Billy G drops behind Mr. Wiggles, who's gone off as well himself with the green. Grasser to tell that he's gone off. Just went quite far off there, Dom, with a 3-second time penalty now. Going through again, we're just looking up and down. There's nothing, no overtakes happening, or nothing's in range of an overtake just yet. Wiggles trying to get back. Preb trying to get up and into turn 1. He's not gonna have a proper look at the move. Preb just on the back of Wakey Joe now, with Alex Haig just behind him, trying to pull back into the DRS and have another fighting chance at the Williams. Doesn't seem like he's going to get it. Doran's been overtaken by Ronnie into turn 1. And I've just cut to that a bit too late to see the move. I didn't see the move on the timing tower coming through until the last possible second. I've just missed another one. Preb getting past Wakey Joe into turn 1. I'm up to P9 now to chase after Wiggles, who's been escaped by Billy G. Now Halvor is in on Mobes, who is in on Matrandia as well. just not close enough yet for a move. He's going to pull it into turn one. He is well close enough though. Matrande later on the brakes goes round the outside of Tarzan, trying to swing it around and pull it off, and he pulls the defence off and is staying in P3. He just about does Wakey Joe, picking up a 3-second time penalty now. Halvor just not seeming to get close enough. Mobes is there. John Mobes looking again to try and get the move done. He used to get it done before the braking zone. Just can't seem to get it done before the braking zone. Looks like Preb had one around the outside there. Coming through, Mobes is just about hanging on to Matrande. He's going to have to pull off a pretty big sector 3 to have a look at a move as we head towards half race distance in this race. So Mobes just getting close enough. Not close enough for a move though on the Alpine. Just not close enough to pull a move off. Halvor has pulled out. Has dropped out, sorry. With striking range there. Not again close enough. Ronnie is just ahead of Doran so far. Doran has just dropped out of the RS as well, behind him. Cannot seem to get those tyres. Oh, look, those tyres are starting to drop off possibly on his car. wonder if we'll see Dorn into the pits soon enough. As he just has to edge closer towards him. Closer and closer is Alex Haig to Wiggles, looking towards the outside. Can't seem to get close enough. Dorn into the pits now. Towards the end of this race, here we go. 14 laps. He'll have to catch and overtake Ronnie. He's going for the mediums again. We've lasted the same amount of time as they did. So we'll see what he can do. Coming out the pit lane now. Billy G in as well. Is he going to have to overtake Preb? Preb seems to just be behind him in towards turn 3 they go. Dorn to the inside, it's going to keep it there. And he's going to just lose out because of it. Fresher tyres isn't helping his cause whatsoever. Dorn already past Preb on those mediums. They are very quick. Looks like coming up the pits there is Ronnie from the lead of the race. He's ahead of Dorn, and that is so important to this race. Dorn getting held up behind Preb for half a lap possibly has just cost them a win in this one. And it looks like Dorn's just not making any inroads on that gap so far. He needs a perfect exit here to try and pull it in. John Mobes and Matrandir into the pits as well. They're not going to make it to the end of the race. And it would have been interesting on the last game. Could have realistically done 30 laps on the hards, possibly at a stretch. Massive stretch. But yeah, not likely, or not possible on this game. By the looks of it, Halvor is ahead of Ronnie as well in the lead. Just staying there for now. Ronnie with the fastest lap of the race now in P2, just closing in on his teammate quite a lot on that last lap. Big fastest lap of the race down in P12, looking for a comeback here. Dom with a move on Billy G, who might have gone wide there, possibly. You can see a bit of dirt on his tyres. Coming through Dawn, just dropped off the pace since the pit stops. Coming through, Ronnie just seems to have so much pace in this final stint of the race. Looks like operator getting lapped there, down in P17. Through turn one again, it's not much looking up and down the field apart from this little battle here, which is a 3-car train heading just off the final corner. Preb looked a little high and wide, and that's because he was, and Billy G gets past him again up to P7, and now putting pressure on Dom into turn one. Who's got the later brakes? It looks like it's going to be Dom. He's going to lose the position. Billy G has the later brakes out of the two of them. Billy G getting past Dom, and Dom has just dropped out as well of the DRS and has now got his teammate behind him. Looks like Preb just staying behind his teammate again in front of the lap. Looks like he's just, yeah. just a 3 by Battle Dom is going to the outside into turn 1, later on the brakes, and swings round. Preb trying to swing around as well. And he does well there. Goes Preb to fight it up to the hill. And for the lead, Halp has lost it. He's now down to P3 with 6 to go. Trandy is 6 seconds back. Into the gravel, that's John Mobes in P5. And a mistake, a race where everyone's had mistakes. It's just happened once again to that Ferrari, who doesn't really have a car that far behind, so he just loses a couple of seconds and loses the opportunity for P4 possibly. That's like a more than possibly. Yeah. It's not a shot you want to be picking up too often. Coming through, Matty is retiring from the race. Looks like to be in the pits. Yeah. There's 4 to go in the race. But Ronnie has had a nice little fight with Doran, but it has looked like it's been his race win for the last couple laps. So barring any catastrophic failures or mistakes, then it should be his win. Halvor has scrambled back to P3 with a very, very long stint on those hards. Those hards are going to be dead after this race, and this is going to be interesting to see how dead they are. Halvor not far behind him is Mitrandir. Billy G and Preb still having a fight through. Looks like Dom round the outside of his teammate is still fighting him through turn 3-2, through turn 4. And Preb's comeback is halted by his teammate again in this race. And this has been a great race for these two drivers in particular, having a nice battle between each other. Interesting to see who does eventually pull something up out of this. Coming through 10 14 and down towards turn 1. These two just not having a fight this lap. But I'm sure as we inch closer and closer, we'll get closer to even better finish. Towards the end of the race, here we go, 2 laps to go. Mitrandir versus Halvor for this lead. These two just so close at the end of this race, and after 36 laps it's been wet and dry. Halvor, 28 laps it'll be at the end of the session. Here we go, on to the final lap, out to the final corner for the penultimate time. It's going to be Halvor versus Mitrandir for the last lap. Can John Mobes possibly fight back into it? Mitrandir gets P3. Can Halvor hang on just one more lap to keep P4 ahead of the Ferrari? In a chaotic race, with cars going off, with cars absolutely everywhere, up and down the grid. We've had Preb come back to P8 from last position. Dan with a half or a comeback as well. It's just absolutely anywhere and everywhere at the minute compared to where they usually are. It has been quite a good evening for some. Not the best for others, but for Ronnie, it's been a great race in that Sauber as he rounds the final 2 corners for the last time. It looks like John Mose was having a little look at Halvor there, but it's back to his teammate, and Ronnie takes the win in Zandvoort in the Sauber as he tries to pull back in on the championship. Doran comes home in P2 as he is trying to claw back his own championship fights in this one. Mitrandir is going to come home in P3. Halvor versus John Mobes. It's going to be Halvor P4, P5 for John Mobes. Billy G and Dom fighting. It's going to come down to penalties. It's 1 second difference between the two. Billy G is going to come home in P7, P6 for Dom. Actually, P6 for Preb, sorry. P7 for Dom. P8 for Billy G. P9 for Mr. Wiggles. P10 for Salguero. And it'll be P12, P11 for Wakey Joe, P12 for Alex Haig, 13, 14, 15, and 16 for Dan Nightcreed, Operator, and Silver Fox. And a absolutely amazing race. I'm going to go for my driver of the day is Halvor. Easily driver of the day with the stint, a one-stop race when everyone was doing 2 stops, 28 laps on the hards. I didn't think it could be done, but you know what, fair enough, he proved me wrong on that one. Absolutely amazing. And anyway, like I said, driver of the day is going to go to Halvor. Race win goes to Ronnie. And fastest lap to Preb. So Ronnie, driver of the day. Not Ronnie, driver of the day. Ronnie wins, followed by Doran, Matrandia. And then Halvor, my driver of the day, comes home in P4. P5 for John Mobes in the Ferrari. P6 for Preb. P7 for Dom. P8 for Billy. JP9 is Wiggle. Salguero P10. Wakey Joe P11. 12th is Alex Haig. 13th is Dan. P14 Nightcreed. P15 Operator. P16 Silver Fox. And P17 is Matty. And in terms of more racing this week, it's going to be Division 2 tomorrow night in Zandvoort, hopefully as chaotic as tonight, which is a good race. As tonight, and then Division 1 on Wednesday evening as well. And then for next week, we will be in Singapore the Monday after. The next week, Monday, is going to be the Singapore Grand Prix. I know one driver that will be very happy to hear that. That is Energy Dan. But from me, tonight, and until next week, goodbye.